Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we are back in iTCR action. From the Phoenix Road Course, we have rounds 7, 8, and 9. In the booth with me tonight, I have Mr. Tyler Newitt. Good evening.
Hello, Clyde. Hello, everybody.
Back from his travels, we have Mr. Bill Switzer. Good evening.
Good evening, Clyde. Good evening, everybody.
And your cameraman for tonight is Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening.
Better camera than Wednesday, hopefully. And welcome, everybody.
Well, let's hope you don't have the clap of thunder that I did on Wednesday that shut the whole house down.
Yeah, we had flooding near my place, and I think a power plant got down when broadcast was time to go on, so...
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, guys, Tyler, I'm going to go to you first. We are in the US of A. We are at Phoenix, which most people know for the oval, but we're using the road course tonight. It's a very tight, twisty, and tricky track.
Yeah, I hope anyone who's ever complained about the modern F1 circuits being lines drawn in parking lots, I hope they're not watching today, because they're definitely not going to appreciate this track, which is quite literally lines drawn through the RV parking lot in the middle of the Phoenix Oval. It's going to be a challenge for sure. There's a lot of different lines that these cars can take. I took part in the practice session, one of the ones on Thursday or Friday, and there's a lot of different ways you can navigate this infield course, but it's tricky to get right repeatedly.
Yeah, and Bill, you know, if we usually go to a road course from an oval, you know, the bog standards are Indy, Daytona, what's the other one that I'm thinking? Charlotte. There's another one, yeah. But this, you know, I know people use the rallycross course here, but have you ever raced here before, Bill?
Yeah, in my MX-5 days, and didn't do very well. I'm a lousy driver to begin with, but this course, I was telling the guys before we went on air, I always found it very tough to find any kind of visuals for finding your apex marker and your braking marker and all that, because it's very flat here. It all looks the same, kind of washed out concrete, and it always got to caught me when you coming off the speedway that you it almost looks like you're in pit road at 110 miles an hour, you know, which kind of is weird, but it's just it's a tricky course, and Tyler's absolutely right. It's hard to get the same lap twice here. It really is, and they do have a ton of lines painted all over the place and cracked concrete. It's tough, I'll tell you. It should be challenging for these guys, but it ought to be fun anyway.
Yeah, and obviously, as usual with this series, we've got 3 Fast and Furious 20-minute races. There are no fast repairs. The cars can run as much fuel as they wish. Starting order for race 1 is determined by this qualifying session. Starting order for race 2 is determined by the finishing order of race 1. And then we have a random reverse of the finishing order of race 2 for the starting order on race 3. So far, no surprises at the top of the field. Currently, Spencer McCarthy sits on provisional pole. Sam Blees is currently provisionally second, and Simon Trendle provisionally third. Tyler, anybody out there tonight? Possible, maybe, are we going to see 3 wins from one driver?
It's a fair question. I'd be a little surprised, especially with the reverse grid. The driver I'm a bit surprised about right now is Gary Craig, who sits in 7th. He has been quick in every practice session I've seen times for, but hasn't quite put something together to challenge the top 5 that as it stands right now. Time's definitely slower. I was talking to the BSTV guys before this. The track, I think, is a lot hotter right now than they were expecting based on the practice sessions. And, of course, the track generally heats up as things go along, but the time's reflective of that as well. I think generally the quickest drivers were in the high 101 most of the practice sessions I saw, where Spencer McCarthy, who's quickest right now, not even close to the 101s as it stands, a 102.3. So definitely tricky for these drivers, and it's going to make things interesting. It's a tough course anyway, and with it being extra slippery for these cars, it'll be interesting. The corner I'm most interested to see in racing conditions is actually this one that we're just seeing Pete head towards on the oval, because you'd think with these cars they've got enough downforce and this corner is banked enough that it's flat out, but it's not. It wasn't in the practice I took a part of, and it's definitely not going to be now with a little heat in the track. So I think you're going to see some tense moments as drivers who are almost flat but not quite navigate the oval turn. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and it looks like, even though it is tight and twisty, Bill, it looks like that, with drivers making mistakes and so many twists and turns, that there's plenty of opportunities for overtaking.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's really easy to go off this course, and not to change the subject, but to add a little bit to what Tyler was talking about. I mean, you expect the place to be hot. If anybody's ever been in Arizona before, out in the desert, it's hot. It's just hot in the daytime. And I was thinking, it's a good thing it's concrete. Can you imagine if it was blacktop? It'd be melting out there. It'd be wicked. So that they got in their favor. But worn down concrete is pretty slippery too. So I don't know how well that's duplicated on iRacing, but if it is, especially with a front wheel drive car, I would imagine if the rear isn't set up the way it should be, it's going to be sliding all over the place in some of these tight corners. So it ought to be interesting. But I think you got a lot of opportunities to pass here. It's really easy to make a mistake here. Like that corner right there that you saw. I don't know whose car that is. I'm sorry, I don't. But
it's Alan Toon.
Okay, well, as Alan Toon came off that last corner, that's a really tight hairpin kind of corner. And it's so easy to whack that stock car oval wall coming off that corner. And that'll mess up your day.
Yes. So Simon Trendle has got himself up to second so far, ahead of Sam Blease. He's just got up to pole, in fact, ahead of Spencer McCarthy, as I said that. So the top three still the same, just in a different order. We have no Damien Harris tonight. So don't know what's happened to him. Obviously, usually wins a race or two, but that'll be a good opportunity for the other drivers to bag some big points. I'm right what you're saying, Tyler, about Gary. Doesn't seem to be quite on it yet, but Gary's one of those drivers that you never rule out, isn't he?
Certainly, and even if he can't find the pace here in this qualifying session, you'll know he'll have something to say in the reverse grid race, as he did last week or last time out at Alton Park, winning the reverse grid race. I think if he can't put together competitive pace in the first couple races, look for him to be strong in that final one.
Yeah, and I don't really expect the cars to get too spread out round here, Bill. If anybody does drop off the back of the pack, a 20-minute race, they should be safe from getting lapped, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I would think so. It's, as you mentioned, it's the kind of track, I believe, unless somebody's really off song or goes off course, that they're not going to be that far apart from front to back. So that even makes it better for us to watch, too.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I do wonder if we might see some lap traffic come into effect. Not likely on pace, but if you see some drivers having spins or incidents along the way, it's a short lap around here. It's just over a minute. So even though you wouldn't expect it typically in these 20-minute races, it's not impossible, and it could definitely shake things up for the leaders if they do run into some lap traffic before any of these races are over.
Yeah, just some hellos on the chat. So hi to Marco Lewert. Stacey is stuck at Silverstone. Not really a too bad excuse. And Ben Cullen is obviously on the chat. Right, where are we going to get? I keep going on about these 3 winners in a race. We've seen somebody do 2. But that reverse grid shake-up in the 3rd race tends to rule it out. I still think at some point this season, Bill, somebody is going to win all 3 races.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. One thing I noticed, I haven't been here for a little bit, but I noticed when we first started this TCR stuff, when Jamie Wilson joined us, and we know Jamie Wilson's a very competent driver, excellent as a matter of fact, and he seems to be really getting a handle on this TCR. I notice he's in 4th place here, and I'll tell you, I think he's going to pull out a win before the season's over. This guy's very crafty. He's a good driver, and he doesn't make many mistakes. So I'm looking forward to see how he does tonight.
And perhaps the tough part. Sorry, I was just going to say, perhaps the tough part for Jamie is to do that. He's going to have to beat his teammate Simon Trendle, who's starting on pole.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I don't know how much love loss would be there. But I have no idea. But that's true.
I think that's probably the good and bad thing for Jamie, isn't it? A, he's got teammates, but B, he's got to beat them.
Yep.
Right, guys, grid is up. So Simon Trendle goes off pole. Spencer McCarthy, Sam Blees, Jamie Wilson, Wobbly Kneecaps, Chris Shaw, Gary Craig, Dan Gudici, Stefan Goebel, Ben Cullen, Pete Bingham, Adam Wright, Carl Hardy, Martin Brennan, Scott Malcolm, Taylor Lane, David Ayres, Duncan Cope, and Sir Alan Toon.
It's impressive, Clyde. You got to get through them quick with the standing start here.
Yeah, and I'm eating cake.
A man of many talents.
What kind of cake do we have today, Clyde?
Just a chocolate Gattox.
Just a chocolate. Oh, that's horrible. You poor man.
Okay, just waiting for one driver to join.
Ben Cullen always causing trouble.
This is actually the old Phoenix layout. It's a little bit different today. I don't know about the infield, but the oval's different.
I don't know that they have a road course at the reconfigured one.
I don't know.
I think they built a tunnel in there, like a second tunnel.
Oh, did they?
Over by the new start finish line, which would get in the way.
Is this the one with Snake Bite Hill?
Rattlesnake Hill, yes.
That's the one, yeah.
Yes.
And the Cigarro cactus.
We're green. Away we go.
Smell.
Dan giving a bump there to Chris Shaw, I think. It's clean at the front, though. Simon Trendle with a good getaway, but Sam Blees with a nice run up the inside. He's going to be on the wrong side for these corners up here and potentially lose the spot to his teammate McCarthy as well. Ooh, that's Stefan going for a slide.
I didn't lose too much time.
I believe it was a pretty strong showing from Stefan last week in the was it a podium in the reverse grid race?
Been asleep since then.
I'm sure Marco will remind us, but I think Stefan had a good showing last time, so tough start to this week, though. He's going to have to work his way up from last. Ooh, there was one of the default liveried cars spun there. That's Cope, I think, potentially. Oh, and that's what I was talking about in the oval. You see Pete Bingham side by side with Carl Hardy nearly coming together because that's one of those corners where there's multiple different lines and it's just on the edge of being flat out. So tough to go through there side by side.
And also a front wheel drive through there going full tilt's going to do what? push normally. So yep.
Exactly. And as soon as you pick up the throttle, it just takes off on you.
Yep.
Now, the one thing you have to look out for is there is a sneaky slowdown spot where the lines for the side of the course kind of stick out right before you go back onto the oval section. So if you see anyone slow in the oval corner, that's because they picked up that slowdown, which a number of drivers were complaining about in the practices. Looks like, I was going to say Pete had the job done on Carl, but a nice crossover move, and Carl's got the inside for the oval turn here.
So that's side by side the whole lap, and I think Pete just bumped the wall.
He did, yep. He slapped it.
Yeah, the nice thing about these cars is they're pretty robust. As long as you don't get wheel-to-wheel contact, that shouldn't affect Pete much at all.
I'm surprised I don't get a... I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that battle between Dan and Adam has been going on pretty much since the start of the race, as that's Ben Cullen on Scott Malcolm.
You have to get out of that in a hurry.
It's a good showing so far for Team Pink from BSTV, with Wobbly in 4th and Chris in 5th. They've both jumped Jamie Wilson at the start.
Yeah, they have. I was going to say Jamie's kind of gotten behind both of them at this point. And who's that? Gary Craig behind him. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Gary Craig is a non-mover, as they used to say in the charts.
Yeah, Gary and Pete together in that regard. So Team Green sticking together as usual. Adam is one of the big movers, up 4 spots from his starting spot of 12th.
Yeah, him and Taylor Lane as well.
Yeah, both up 4.
Tell you, Adam's really been on the go lately. I happened to watch your GTCC race, the last one, and boy, he was outstanding in that. Wow.
He had some really impressive pace in that one for
sure.
sure.
Did.
Yeah, I don't think this car suits him, nor did the GT4 car he tried out on Wednesday, but I think he just wants to be racing and is doing a pretty good job of jumping into to different cars and being quick in them.
Yeah, yep. Taylor Lane is now putting Pete under a lot of pressure.
What's happening to Carl Hardy? Where'd he go?
He's scuttled off down the road.
Oh, is he up the road? Okay.
Fastest lap that time around for Sam Blees, who sits in 3rd. That group of 3 is not really getting away from each other as Sam puts the move on his teammate there, Spencer McCarthy, for 2nd. They've stretched it just a little bit over Wobbly in 4th, but they've really stuck together throughout this first part of the race.
Board here with Simon McCarthy.
Spencer McCarthy.
Spencer, I'm sorry, Spencer.
Bill's
Simon
back.
Trendle. Right.
Yeah, there's 3 S's at the top. It makes it pretty difficult. But
Mr. Trendle's not wasting any time. He's pulled out a pretty good lead there.
There's a slow.
Oh yeah, good call, Sam.
Yeah,
that's the one we were talking about. Picked up just before getting back onto the oval.
Oh boy.
It's especially easy to do if you're in behind somebody, as Spencer was with his teammate there, because really the only indicator is the white line, and it's a bit unnatural the way it sticks out. So
him close in. Wow. Sorry.
Yeah, Wobbly got a great run into it. Yeah, and that's kind of showing what we were talking about, the different lines into turn 1. Wobbly taking that really aggressive late braking maneuver, and you see Spencer got the benefit of the drive off, but there's just, and that's the case in so many different corners around this track. You can really drive it pretty differently. It makes for good battles, as we've seen so far.
That 180 corner they went through was not truly, the same on both ends of it. If you've ever remembered, Tyler, it's as you go into it, it's not too tight, and then as you come out, it's really tight. So it's kind of a weird
that's where I was losing most, if not all, of my time in the practice on Thursday. It's incredibly tricky, and with these cars, so much of it too is how much of that entry curve you use, because you hook it to just get the car to turn, knowing it's going to tighten up on exit, but you can also carry too much speed and then you're SOL in the mid corner.
That's right. Exiting out of there also, the road kind of cuts back a little more, and it's so easy to overdrive off the outside of that corner.
Definitely seems like Sam Blees has the pace right now. He set another fastest lap of the race, and he was quickest in practice, in the practice attached to this session. Just didn't get the qualifying from Simon Trendle, but clearly able to stick with him at the very least. We'll see if he can make a move happen.
Looks like he's closing in. Look at that. Wow.
Really strong on the brakes there for Sam.
We're just 7 minutes into the race as well. 13 minutes to go, roughly.
We have seen already in this series how difficult Simon Trendle can be to pass, though. And there's his teammate, Jamie Wilson, trying to put some pressure on Chris Shaw. Gary Craig is just hanging on to the back of that battle.
Going to be a heck of a tussle in the next lap or two with the leader and the second place there.
And Marco has chimed in on the chat and reminded me that it was the AM win in GTCC for Stefan that I was thinking of.
Okay.
His recent strong performance.
Good for
Did
him.
get a top 10 here. Ooh, tiny little nudge there. Ben and Scott still going at it here.
So who is he tonight? Is he Send Cullen or Bend Cullen?
Ben.
I would say send Hamilton today. I've not seen the crash, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but...
It's a racing incident for me all day long, and I can't stand Lewis Hamilton.
Exactly what I argued for an hour in the BSTV chat, and I was the only person who thought so. It's clearly a divisive topic, so we won't delve any further into that one.
Better watch BSTV than Formula 1 anyway, so...
More side-by-side racing, that's for sure.
You don't think Daniel Ricciardo's related to Ricky Ricardo, do you?
I'd be surprised, to be honest.
So you're awful young to know who... Well, that was a rerun for about 19,000 years, so I'm sure you saw some of those.
Oh, move here.
Whoa,
Yeah,
look at Gary.
He's on the outside.
I hadn't seen Gary get by Jamie. Don't know if we caught that, but Gary had been behind, then was ahead, and now is behind again on Jamie Wilson. So good battle here.
Yeah, I don't know if Jamie tried a move on Chris and then lost his momentum, maybe?
Could be. Yeah, for sure. We had seen him up behind the two pink cars.
We've got David Ayres and was it Stefan Goebel going out
Yeah,
here?
Stefan trying to work his way back through after his lap 1 slide.
Ooh.
Whoa!
It's car there, car.
Side to side?
David, sorry.
This is Pete Bingham and Taylor Lane. Pete still under pressure here, but Taylor hasn't been able to find a way
Pete's
through
wide.
just yet.
Whoa, baby.
Yeah, they've been going at it for a while, haven't they?
Look at him come off that corner. Good one, Pete. Jeez, I didn't think he'd get that.
That's what we've been saying the whole time, though, isn't it, Bill? It's just so many different ways to run around here, and Pete found one that I wouldn't have expected to work either, but he made it stick. Yeah.
Wow. No, this is still a heated battle.
It's been a great showing from these two. As you said, Clyde, Simon not the easiest person in the world to pass, but Sam is putting all the pressure on him.
I don't believe he's driving at 90% anymore with Sam Blees in his mirror.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Look at
And
that.
you know
Wow.
that they're both going flat out because Spencer McCarthy in third hasn't been able to close back anything after his slowdown. He's been just kind of mired about 2.5 seconds back. Oh no! That looked like blue on blue. There were several BSTV cars in there.
Ooh. It could be Death.
I think that's Adam.
That's
Nope.
Adam with Dan behind him.
Yeah,
And then is that Carl Hardy behind him?
Yeah, I believe
it is.
Wait a minute. Yes, it is.
Oh, Dan just
Oh.
lost it.
Yeah.
That really, unfortunately, is Dan's fault. He kind of got off track, went sideways right in front of.
Yeah, it's a really tough section in these cars because no.
Whoa! Nice
Well,
recovery. What?
That was,
good
yeah,
man.
a hell of a save. And I think Sam stomped on the brakes as well.
Yes.
That was good. I'm glad.
Back to Dan's incident for just a moment. It's really tricky through there. In fact, I lost it a few times in practice there just because there's no brake markers there, and it's a curved entry to the corner.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. You can't see it.
Exactly. So it's really easy, especially if the car gets a little sideways, just to carry too much speed in.
Yep.
And Dan tried to keep it away from Adam, but unfortunately gave him a little bit of front end damage there. Oh, that's broken. That is not going to continue on.
Ouch.
Nope, he's in the pits. So just over 7 minutes to go.
So, Clyde, are racing incidents amongst the BSTV teammates punishable by death as well, or is that a lighter punishment?
Yeah, they just don't get paid this month.
Ah.
Or any other month. Up.
Gary hasn't been able to find a way back on Jamie, and Stefan now is back on the back of Dan Giudice after his issue. So,
With David Ayres behind him.
yeah, David's been sticking with Stefan after Stefan went through, which is pretty good.
And I think that's Martin behind him, Martin Brennan.
Gary strong on the brakes there, but not really an opportunity to make a move there. It's a tough place to make something happen because it's very easy if you're the car being overtaken to put the crossover on. You kind of let the car diving it in sail wide and just cut it back, and you have the inside line for the oval. So tough place to make something happen. Turn one's a much better passing opportunity, even though it is such a tricky braking zone there, as you see from the back of Jamie Wilson looking at Gary Craig.
Whoa! Jeez, come on in the trunk.
Just a little kiss on the bumper.
Wow, it looks like he's taking a lot of curb there. Wow, I'm surprised he's not getting 1Xs for those.
Yeah, you can take a lot of it without really picking up anything as far as 1Xs go, or slowdowns for that matter.
I've kind of forgotten. It's been a long time for me here.
Yeah, it's about, you could go about half a car width over the curb.
It kind of looked at least that. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, and those cars are pretty wide. So.
So 5 minutes to go of race 1. Don't forget, folks, there isn't much of a gap between the races.
You'd imagine things are starting to get a little more stressful for Sam Blees, wanting to find a way through here, hasn't been able to yet. Now that's probably going to be a 1X for Simon Trendle there, but that's one of those where you have the margin, so you might as well use it.
Yeah, exactly.
To hang on to your position.
Exactly. I've heard the better drivers say that they save those like when they race at Spa or someplace, you know, when they really need it, they take one.
Yep. Now both Jamie and Gary have closed in on the back of Chris Shaw here as the race is winding down.
Yeah, Wobbly has dropped Chris Shaw, hasn't he?
Yeah, by a decent margin. Wobbly's sticking with Spencer McCarthy somewhat. The gap isn't small, but it's not particularly changing much. Although Wobbly was about 4/10 slower that time around.
Yeah, I think Spencer is just starting to drag himself back into this battle.
Oh, and it's a slowdown for Sam Blees.
Whoa.
That's costly with
That's not a good time for that.
3.5 minutes remaining in the race.
Well, look at this. Nose to tail.
Expect one of these drivers to make a move into this corner. Looks like Jamie's going to be the one to do it. Gary will see if he can get the cutback on either Jamie or Chris. This could work out well for Gary here and poorly for Chris Shaw if he doesn't get a good line through the oval. Gary using that apron to turn just a bit. It was kind of split opinions in the practice session as to whether the apron helped or hurt. But Gary using it to good effect there, though he has to settle in back behind Chris Shaw here.
Chris is cutting back.
Yeah,
Chris
and that's what we've been. That's what we've been seeing all day. Jamie took a wide entry, but it paid off with the run on the exit of the corner.
Gary dives in there.
Yeah,
that was a nice move. Wow.
That was well done, and it's time to make something happen for Gary. He knows it. He's up into 6th place here. And of course, remember that every position finished higher in this race is not just additional points, but it's additional starting spots for the next race.
Yep.
Couple of result drivers here. David Ayres and Martin Brennan. Martin has a look around the outside.
He looked like he was going to do an over-under. He was going to try it there, but...
Yeah, didn't quite get the runoff he needed. I'd imagine the tires are pretty rough for everybody at this point, with the track temps as high as they are.
Yep.
It'll be difficult to get any sort of drive off on the dirty line. Now Gary trying to put the same move on Jamie that he put on Chris Shaw the lap before. Wasn't quite able to get the run on exit.
If he has a good exit here, he might be able to get him.
Yeah, that was a nice line for Gary.
It was.
See if he can hold it around the outside or if he tucks back in behind Jamie to set something up into turn 1.
But it's hard to hold that round the outside there.
Yeah, but that's well done by Gary to take kind of the more geometric line through the corner. It's gotten him a great run off and set himself up for turn 1.
I think we're on white flag too. One more lap to go, I believe.
Yeah, we're either on white or the penultimate lap. I think the leaders were far enough ahead that this would be the...
You think we're going to have another one, huh? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I didn't look at the flagmen as they went by, so it's tough to say.
I thought he was swatting at flies there. I'm not sure either.
I thought it was Sam's job to tell us when it was white flag.
Wow, Jamie went wide that time, but I think he's protecting the inside for the next corner. Yeah,
okay, we think it is the white flag lap.
Gary is pushing hard. Wow.
Yeah, it is checkered this time for Simon Trendle. Out of the final corner.
Well done. Nice victory.
Looks like Jamie's going to hold this. Gary's going to get the run around the outside like he did last time, but I don't think he has the momentum.
Of course, Jamie's making it. Good finish.
Yeah, impressive effort from Gary, though. That was a good fight.
Absolutely. Yep. Chris Shaw hung in there, too. He's a little bit behind, but he was holding in with him pretty well.
Yeah.
Come on, Sir Alan. What, are you out of gas? Come on. Maybe he got...
I thought for a second he might have been, but I think it was just the camera angle.
God, it looked like he was going really slow there for a minute.
Yeah.
And Sir Alan across the line.
Yeah, so your top 3 was Simon Trendle, followed by Sam Blees, followed by Spencer McCarthy.
That's right. And the starting lineup for the next race, as Clyde mentioned, the first three: Wobbly Kneecap 4th, Jamie Wilson 5th, Gary Craig 6th, Chris Shaw 7th, Carl Hardy 8th, Pete Bingham 9th, Taylor Lane 10th, Ben Cullen 11th, Scott Malcolm 12th. 13th is Danielle Guidici. 14th is Stefan Goebel. 15th, Martin Brennan. 16th, David Ayers. 17th, Sir Alan Toon. 18th, Adam Wright. And 19th, Duncan Cope.
And that, of course, will be your lineup for race number 2 as well. Just waiting on a few more drivers on the grid.
Like we say, the races come fast and furious. There is a 5-minute warm-up between race 2 and race 3. So can Simon Trendle make it a double?
Well, if he runs anywhere near like he did last time, it should be almost a given if he doesn't make a mistake. He had things well in control that time. Of course, Sam Blees was giving him a hard time there, but he couldn't get by him. And then he had that darn slowdown and messed his day up.
Yeah, I think Sam will be looking to try and get it done quickly while the tyres are cold.
Exactly. We got an on board with Jamie. Jamie Wilson starting in 5th place this time.
Still waiting for our pole sitter.
Getting a quick drink and relaxing a little bit. There he is.
There he is. Must have gone for a poo. Okay, grid is set. We await the lights. Here they come. And we're green. Oh, good start by Simon Trendle.
Pretty even start from everybody up front. Yep. They settle in line astern. First side-by-side is Chris Shaw and Gary Craig for 6th. I think Chris is going to win out on that one. Looks like he is. So Gary settles for 7th.
Yeah, I think Martin Brennan's got his cloaking device on again.
Whoa,
Move
look
up
at
the
this.
inside from Sam Blees. I think these guys know now the time to make something happen is early on. Oh, he tried to cut back, but his teammate went up the inside. Something's happened to Wobbly Kneecaps.
I think he got a slowdown.
And they were nearly 3 wide for the lead for a moment.
Looks like the geodesic team is trying to gang up on Simon Trendle this time.
Well, they weren't playing particularly nicely together because Spencer stuck it up the inside of Sam when he was trying to get the cutback on Simon Trendle. This time, though, Sam's got a great run into turn 1.
Sure
Spencer slapped the wall as well.
Yeah, I think Sam is going to have this one. Indeed, he does. Further back, this is the battle for reverse grid pole for race number 3. Currently, Wobbly Kneecaps has it. Pete Bingham and Taylor Lane safely inside the reverse at the moment. Oh, there was some contact back there.
Stefan Gold and David Ayers, maybe?
I thought it was one of the BSTV cars, but I'm not sure. Adam Wright's made up quite a few places from his start, yet again.
Yeah, the guy's really got mojo going right now.
Yeah, shame about the contact in the last race. Definitely not anything of his own doing. But as Wobbly Kneecaps is working his way back forward, he makes the move on Taylor Lane, and Dan Giudici follows him through. That's an important position. Ooh, that was...
somebody's taking the
Was that-
oval. Who's that?
It was either
Pete?
Ben or Adam there. It was Adam. So Adam missed turn 1 completely. And he's right back where he started.
I'm telling you, that turn 1 could be tricky. You're coming off there the fastest you are on the whole racetrack. And God.
It really is.
Yeah, 0 to hero to 0
Yep.
I think
in 2 minutes.
an interesting turn to compare it to, because you wouldn't think of it as similar at all. But it's the turn 1 complex at the Chinese Grand Prix circuit, where it's that tightening kind of looping corner.
Trying to think of what's
that
is.
Yeah, they don't have it on iRacing, but
No, I know.
yeah, it's somewhat similar, because you go in there at speed and then the corner tightens up.
I know.
at
I
the
know.
exit.
I know the one you're talking about now. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I
there's a
think
little
you're
bit of a little bit of an uphill aspect that isn't present at Phoenix, but they're surprisingly similar given the disparity between the rest of the tracks.
Ooh,
Trouble
who's
for
that off
Pete.
now?
It's Pete Bingham.
He's gonna run through the parking lot.
And he's going to get a slowdown for that, and he's going to get a slow-mo for whatever it was that put him there.
I don't know what's worse, the slow down or the slow mo.
Well, slow down in slow-mo would be unbearable. Overcooked it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yep, that's easy to do there.
A nice.
We missed
Oh,
the
I
cone.
thought we were going to
Well
get. Yeah, I thought we were going to get a cone punt in slow-mo, but fortunately not.
Oh, wow. He missed
Did
the
he- I-
tires, too. Wow.
I think he might have just got it with the right rear.
Oh, you think he kissed it? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, that's taken Pete out of a reverse grid position, so he won't be happy about that. Side by side once again for second.
Wow.
Oh,
Looks like
Spencer's
Spencer
got the
McCarthy's
overlap this
trying
time. He might have something to say about this one.
Whoa. Big bump, big curve just then.
Oh, he tried the
Crossover.
crossover.
He's going to get it done.
That was
Wow.
a good move from
Wow,
Spencer
you're not
McCarthy
kidding.
there. And Chris Shaw is licking his chops.
Gives Sam Bleaves a little buffer zone there to have his teammate behind him.
It certainly does, and it gave him a little gap with the two of them battling. Something's happened to Scott Malcolm here. Did he get a nudge from Adam Wright? Oh, dear. Oh, goodness.
Sir Allen gets whacked too.
That was
I think
strange.
that might be why Adam disconnected.
Yeah, I think... well, it's tough to say if Adam was going to hit Scott anyway, but Scott had to check up extra hard for
It was Alan, yeah.
for Allen braking there, and once he did, Adam had nowhere to go. It's closed right back up at the front, though.
Certainly
Spencer
has.
McCarthy really closed in on Sam Blease that last time around. Maybe Sam had a slowdown or something, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and Chris Shaw's going with him.
The top six is all right there, really. Back to Jamie Wilson, pretty much in a line.
Well, I think Spencer McCarthy doesn't want to necessarily be the number 2 man.
It was a stronger showing, if I'm not mistaken, for Spencer than Sam at Oulton Park. So I think Sam will be wanting to put some good points and a win or two on the board here.
Yeah, well, Sam is championship leader as things stand. Level on points with Simon Trendle. And Spencer McCarthy in 5th.
And I might have been totally wrong.
And it looks like we got the Jamie Wilson, Gary Craig show going here too as well.
Yeah, I don't think Jamie can see much other than Gary Craig right now.
Of all the races we've done with Jamie Wilson, and he's always got a partner with him all the time. It seems to be the same guy all the time.
It's usually me.
It used to be you, yep.
But not running today. I wouldn't have the pace in the TCRs to be up there anyway, so. Yeah,
That's
what
a
these
special
guys
kind
do
of
in
drive.
this, what these
Kind of
guys do
driving.
in this absolutely awful car is mighty impressive.
Like being right on the edge of dropping a dozen of eggs on the floor, I swear. Never been a fan of front wheel drive, but these are pretty interesting little cars.
I've not really driven this one in anger, but back in the RF2 days, all the goats.
Whoa.
Result on result action there.
Mark,
That was David Ayres and Martin Brennan getting together, and it's promoted Stefan Goebel and Pete Bingham up a spot or two.
oh, here's a replay of it. Looks like Martin says, "Hey, David, want to dent it indoor?"
Yeah, it was Martin up the inside, and David didn't think he was going to be there.
Yeah, Pete got involved in that as well with a bit of front end damage.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
move here.
That is Taylor Lane going past Ben Cullen.
I think it was Ben trying to get by Taylor, and Taylor taking the spot back, because Taylor's held that spot for a little bit, and that's the all-important transfer spot for the reverse grid that those two are fighting over. So Ben will definitely be wanting to get through there when he can.
Carl Hardy in 7th, followed by Wobbly Kneecap in 8th.
And just to finish my little RF2 comment, yeah, some of the best racing I ever had on there was in the front-wheel drive Clio.
Yeah.
The guys who drive it in this league and in the GT4 TCR Wednesday league, they definitely know how to put on a good show with it. But I just think it is the most uncomfortable, unappealing car to drive in all of iRacing. I mean, it just makes your brain melt when you can't step on the throttle or the car just sails off into the outside wall. You say you haven't driven it in anger, Clyde, but that's because to drive it in anger would be to drive it directly into the nearest wall.
I think Marco Lawere on the chat agrees with you, Tyler.
Yeah, well, that's probably why we don't see Marco driving here today.
So we're just over halfway.
Spencer's getting really close to.
Yeah, it is all Alpine Stars Geodesic at the front. Sam Blees from Spencer McCarthy, as it has been, but you said it, Bill. Spencer putting a ton of pressure on his teammate there.
Boy.
Oh, but
Whoa.
he nearly opened the door for Simon Trendle there, who is not letting these two get away.
Simon was drooling at that little move.
And Chris Shaw also there, ready to pounce. They have dropped Gary Craig and Jamie Wilson just a little bit.
You know, one thing about this kind of racing, you can't, since they're virtually identical vehicles, you can't outpower somebody. You know, that's off the table, basically.
It is a bit interesting, the difference in setups. We had a couple. I haven't bothered trying to set these cars up, but the guys on the team had a couple of setups for me to try, and they drove completely differently. Just there's just different, I think, setup design philosophies, mostly centered around how to get this car to turn without destroying the tires. And it really is completely different. So you're right, Bill. It's not like someone can set the car up to be, to take off when you put the pedal down, but you really can tailor it to your liking as far as the handling goes. And I think you see it reflected in some of the different driving styles for everybody out there.
You know, there's no push to pass on this car.
Well, there is. We have seen it already. Pete Bingham having a go at Stefan Goebel.
Yeah, these were the positions that were traded hands when the result cars came together. Stefan had gotten in front of Pete. Pete trying to look for a way back around.
Simon Trundle's not letting these guys get away, though. He's right there.
Taylor Lane currently sitting in the reverse grid pole position for race 3.
Yeah, and Ben Cullen's been working on Taylor for a number of laps and hasn't been able to find a way through. And he's got about 6 more laps to do it. But he's dropped off a little bit, actually. Oh, I think he's serving a slowdown there.
Well, I think you're right.
Because he was right up behind Taylor. But that gap has stretched out considerably. In fact, it looked like Taylor had closed in a bit on Wobbly and Tangedici, who were battling over 8th place.
Hello, Mr. Harris on the chat. Sorry I couldn't be there tonight. Keep up the good work.
A little brake lock up there.
Yeah, Damien undeniably quick in these cars and certainly would be up there battling with the that top group if he were here.
No, I think he would have crashed by now.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Pete?
No, Pete's already crashed. So Wobbly trying to get back past Dan. And Dan's doing quite well, actually. He's another one that, well, I've never seen him drive these cars, apart from in this series.
Yeah, I think they are not new to Dan, as that was Pete through on Stefan, and then he's given it right back.
Whoa!
And then some.
What the heck happened there?
Did he have a slowdown or something?
I thought he just went in too deep.
Could be. Oh, a little nudge there.
He let him go back, and let him
Yeah,
go by.
I think that's what it was.
Yep. And Martin says, "I'll take that too. Thank you very much."
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say to Dan, I don't think these cars are new. I think Dan has driven these before, but he's definitely been putting in the practice this week. I've seen him in a couple of the practice sessions. And was pleading his case to get me to run, because at the moment he's the only one scoring points for Team Yellow. Unfortunately, he can't make these cars rear-wheel drive, so he is going to be alone out there for a little while.
Sorry, Dan. Tyler's trying to keep a good attitude.
Yeah, stay positive.
It's Snetterton 200 next time. How easy track.
Well, I'm not going to be home next time out, so.
Sex cult again, is it?
Uh-huh.
Kaiser's jealous there, Tyler, because he can't go with you.
I'm
I
just
know.
worried he's going to come back with another fiance.
And then he'll have to change his identity and hide from Elizabeth forever.
So, well, we got just under 3 minutes to go.
Martin going
not
for...
away.
No, and Martin... Oh!
Oh.
Well, that time it was Martin's turn to bully Stefan out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, at least he tried to avoid it, but he couldn't. It's just one of those
Yeah.
things. And Pete Bingham says, "Okay, Martin, let's go."
Yeah, not really a chance to make the reverse grid for these guys fighting here, but they will want to start as high up as they can when
Heck
every
yeah.
position counts. Oh, Pete's got a good run here.
He got off that corner really well.
Yep. Just has to keep it stuck to the inside here. We know Martin can get the run off. We've seen several drivers do it. Well, if it was a race to the finish that time, Martin would have had the spot.
Martin would have had it, yep.
Pete's got a couple more laps to get the job done.
Look at this. Pete!
Oh, no! Oh, and the instant slow-mo. Sam quick on the trigger there.
They both overshot that one big time. Woo.
Yeah, I don't even think there was any contact between the two of them. They just both outbroke themselves.
Yeah. I think they was just giving the position back to Stefan so that they can knock him out of the way again.
Almost looked like they were watching each other rather than the track.
I think you're exactly right there, Bill. Yep, white flag out this time. Front group is still together, but doesn't really look like anyone's close enough to make a pass happen here in the closing stages. That is the pass for 9th. Something happened to Wobbly there.
Yeah.
He's potentially serving a slowdown? I'm not sure. But Taylor had quite a bit of speed there.
Or potentially backing himself up for 10th.
Very good point. Yeah. Doesn't want to start on the outside, perhaps. Out front, though, it's all Sam Blees at the moment.
So you couldn't sit back and rest, though. Spencer was there the whole time trying to get by.
Absolutely, yeah. Great showing for the geodesic guys. That'll be a good team picture.
You're not kidding. Wow, that was a nice one.
This is the final transfer spot held by Wobbly Kneecap. I don't think Ben Cullen's within striking distance. Now Pete once again trying to make the move on Stefan, but Stefan's going to get a good run to the line here.
Yeah.
And Martin wants to see if he can snag a spot from Pete as well.
Damage there for Scott Malcolm. Considerable damage. How do you manage to make your car look like yourself?
Because either way. All right, there's the results of race 2. Sam Blees first, Spencer McCarthy second, Simon Trendell third, Chris Shaw fourth, Gary Craig fifth, Jamie Wilson sixth, Carl Hardy seventh, Daniel Guidici eighth, Taylor Lane ninth, Wobbly Kneecap 10th, Ben Cullen 11th, Stephen Goebel 12th, Pete Bingham 13th, Martin Brennan 14th, David Ayers 15th, Duncan Cope 16th, Scott Malcolm 17th, and Sir Alan Tood 18th.
Excellent. So we've seen some fantastic racing so far. Race 3 coming up, where we know it can get messy. We've got that reverse grid of the top 10 at this time. So Wobbly Kneecaps is going to go off on pole position. We've seen wins for Simon Trendell and Sam Blees. Guys, for both of you, are we going to see a different winner for race 3, or do you think one of those guys can get through and take the win?
I say it's going to be a different winner, and I say that winner is going to be Chris Shaw.
That's not a bad call. I would also keep my eyes on Spencer McCarthy. What about you, Bill?
Well, I'm not quite sure about that, but I don't think it'll be one of those three guys. It'll be somebody different, and I don't want to jinx them, so I'm not going to say anything because I'm not really sure who to pick.
Just say Pete then.
All right, Pete Bingham.
There you go. Pete now has another excuse for crashing.
He doesn't need excuses.
So guys, we've got a 5-minute warm-up session just to get ready for the final race of the evening.
Pete has the skin of a rhino. I tell you, the resin he gets from you guys, unreal. If anybody ever had a negative attitude, it would be him. Holy crap.
I spent a whole evening on Wednesday being nice about him. That's my one for the year.
He must have wanted something. Well, Clyde, in February, I hope even if you have to wear a bubble suit, you come over here.
Yeah, I'm sure things will be back to some sort of normality by February.
Have a better choice of races to go to, too.
I'd quite like to see Clyde rolling around the Daytona infield in one of those big inflatable clear bubbles.
I'd love to do that.
And he'd be mad enough to do it too, Tyler.
There's a place in the UK where you can do it on water as well.
Well, they've got Lake Lloyd there.
Yeah, that's true. They do. They have it pretty protected now. Years ago, really had nothing around it, and crazy infield drunken people go smashing in there and have to get rescued and all kinds of stuff. But got a big fence around it now.
So Chris Shaw's just put a message up that he's had to run and change his nappy.
Probably too scared because I picked him. Feels worried that he's got to perform now.
Yeah, he probably poked his child so they'd wake up, so he had to change their nappy.
So not many drivers interested in going out for the practice session. Most of them just chilling.
It's almost over. That's it, done. This grid has a different look, huh?
Certainly does.
Wobbly kneecap going off first. Taylor Lane second. Daniel Guici third. Carl Hardy fourth. Jamie Wilson fifth. Gary Craig sixth. Chris Shaw seventh. Simon Trendle eighth. Spencer McCarthy ninth. Sam Blees 10th. Ben Cullen 11th. Stephen Goebel in 12th. 13th is Pete Bingham. 14th, Martin Brennan. 15th, David Ayres. 16th, Duncan Cope. 17th, Scott Malcolm. 18th, Sir Alan Toon. 19th, Adam Wright. Wonder if Duncan Cope's related to Derek Cope.
That would be nearly as much of a stretch as Daniel and Ricky Ricardo.
True.
Don't forget, Bill can change the names and make it work.
I used to be pretty good at remembering names. I just can never pronounce them. That's all.
So, as usual, we are waiting for Bend Cullen.
Think he's going to be Ben this time instead of Send?
Mend Cullen for all of his sheet panels.
Okay, everybody looks like they're on the grid.
Jamie Wilson's been starting in that same area for the 3 races, so let's see how he does this time.
He's another dark horse for the win.
Absolutely.
So while we're waiting for the lights, how have we not used Bent Cullen yet?
Lights are on.
And
And
we're
they're off.
away.
Not a great start for Taylor Lane. Dan Giudice got a huge jump on
he
him.
did, didn't he? Oh.
Oh!
Oh, that's Gary Craig.
Ah!
Oh.
Just a little kiss to the wall. It was hard to tell if there was even real overlap or that was just a bit of netcode there between Spencer McCarthy and Gary. I mean, there was barely any. And just an unfortunate little nudge there from Spencer into the back of Gary Craig, and that set him back to 12th. Out front, though, Wobbly's running away with it just a bit.
And the way Gary was heading for that K-rail, I thought he was going to split his car in half. God.
Spencer and Simon and Sam in there as well. Those 3 have been together most of the evening. In varying orders.
Oh, and the Chimera boys are together.
Yeah, that was Chris Shaw trying to make a move on Jamie, and instead opened himself up to
Ooh.
attack from Simon.
And the 3 hot shoes are together, too.
Yeah, there's definitely elbows out in race 3.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't really moved forward much at all, except for capitalizing on Gary's spin.
But yeah, they're too busy going sideways, I think.
Oh,
Oh, what's happened to Dan?
that's a slowdown for Dan,
Slowdown,
for sure.
isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, what a shame. Like you were saying, though, Tyler, you crunch a bunch of cars in there together, and sometimes it's hard to avoid.
Yeah, and nearly caught out Taylor Lane and Carl Hardy. Was lucky. Ooh, bounce off the wall for Chris Shaw. He's got it sorted now, though.
It's just some extra turn. Oh, Carl Hardy was so slow in the middle of that corner.
Whoa!
Oh, that's big damage.
It's kicking off everywhere here. That's Ben Cullen.
Bent Cullen, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Wow.
looking pretty bent there. I think there was trouble for Pete Bingham in that as well.
He decided he was going to take the stock car oval, and then he changed his mind.
Not the first time we've seen that from Pete tonight.
Yeah, beat me to it. I was going to say again. That's right.
Stefan Goebel, Martin
Yeah,
Brennan, and Alan Toon have also reset.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, not to call attention to it, but my pick Chris Shaw up to 3rd place.
Yeah, and Spencer McCarthy up to 4th.
The quickest lap, though, belongs to Wobbly Kneecaps with a 1:03.0.
Yeah, he's under a lot of pressure, though, from Taylor Lane in the council
Boy, oh
paint.
boy.
That'll be Chris Shaw, who just got up into 2nd. Chris runs out wide, but we've seen that work for people. And he does get the drive off. And Taylor, I think, wanted to have a look back at him, but he's under pressure from Spencer McCarthy.
Yeah, taking that wide line does straighten that kink out a bit, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, for sure. Carl Hardy's done well to hold on to
all right, he's making
place
hay
right now.
Wow.
Yeah, a little nudge of the wall by Taylor Lane.
Another fastest lap from Wobbly. Ooh, side-by-side contact. Gary Craig and Sam Blees there. That's what these cars are built for, though.
Yep. A little pushy push coming into turn 1 there.
And Gary Craig, after getting shunted off back to 12th, is all the way back up to 9th. And he's really not out of sight of anybody but Wobbly.
Nope.
Chris takes a defensive line here. Spencer's got a run on him. I think it was wise of Chris to let Spencer through there. There's no use in fighting him too hard because they're just losing ground to Wobbly. Ooh. Yeah. That time it was Spencer. Well, no, not Spencer. Now Simon sets the fastest lap of the race. So the front runners from races 1 and 2 starting to show their pace here in race 3. That's Jamie Wilson through on Carl Hardy with Simon Trendle, his teammate, close behind.
Yeah, Carl Hardy now in a Chimera sandwich.
Looks like Simon should have this one after they go through the oval. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah,
settles in.
Carl had a big toe, didn't he, from about 3 cars in front.
Yeah, he went really defensive in the corner, too.
Yeah, Gary looming in the background here. Clearly, Gary not too badly affected by any damage he might have picked up in that incident.
No.
Ooh, there's the move again from Simon, but he's on the wrong side for these corners once again. Not able to make anything stick on Carl here.
Well, Carl so far has put his car in the right spot.
And Chris is really putting the pressure still on Spencer McCarthy, which from a team perspective, oh dear.
Bingham's in a crash.
Pete and David there.
That's Bill's fault.
That's right.
Oh, does Pete carry too much speed? We saw Dan do it.
Yep.
Oh,
Same
yeah,
thing
Pete
happened.
was not.
Yep.
Oh, yes. That's a deliberate takeout in my eyes.
Yeah. Pete gunning for David's championship points there. What I was going to say before that was Chris Shaw was putting pressure on Spencer McCarthy, which from a team perspective is definitely the right thing to do because it keeps him away from Wobbly for a little bit. But from a personal perspective, I think Chris would be wise to settle in and follow Spencer up to Wobbly.
Yeah, they're not making any ground at all, are they, on Wobbly?
No. Even though Spencer set another fastest lap last time, they're just not pulling enough per lap, even with the quick laps they're doing, to make much of a difference yet. There's Simon late on the brakes to get by Carl.
And there's Gary Craig right there, too, alongside of him.
And I think Carl has a slowdown here because he was just complaining about it on the driver chat.
That might be it.
And Jan Van Gorp is cheering for Wobbly. So suddenly the Wobbly fan club comes to life.
The Fairweather Wobbly group, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, where was Jan when Wobbly was in 10th.
Yeah, crashing and getting slowed
Yeah.
downs. And
Don't listen to him, Jan. We're glad you joined, really. We're just kidding. We do the same thing with Wobbly. We don't cheer for him unless he's doing something.
Have to say, we were complimenting Carl hanging on. Taylor Lane is also doing a phenomenal job to hold on to
Sure
4th
is.
there. After
Good
starting in
point there,
2nd
Tyler.
for this one.
Absolutely.
Now, Jamie trying to make a move up the inside, but Taylor gets that good run off
Much better runoff for Taylor.
with the wide line. Another Fairweather Wobbly fan in the chat. That's an Adam
Oh,
Warrick.
yeah, they're all
Warrick.
out now. Yeah, Adam Van Wright.
Yeah. I think with the Dutch names, the R is silent, so it'd be Adam Van White.
There is that Jan Van Gop.
It's a good question. I was just trying to intentionally butcher Adam's name. I don't want to get Jan upset.
Clyde, it's silent like the P in swimming, okay?
Yeah.
Another
Ooh,
education.
Carl. So Gary got through on Carl there, but Carl got a good run off and might have something to say about it.
Looks like he's falling behind him. Maybe you go to the inside, try to go. Gary comes down.
Don't get me started on fridge and refrigerator.
Well, clearly, Jan is a follower of our channel if he understands that butchering Dutch names is a part of this series' charm. Oh,
We are the
Chimera,
best.
Chimera battle there. That was
Whoa.
Wow,
Simon.
Carl Hardy. Wow.
I think that was Jamie letting Simon through there. Potentially. Or not fighting him too hard, at least. And he holds on to the position ahead of Gary, who is dealing with a Carl Hardy at the moment.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get a Gary one side and a Carl the other side for a minute. Oh, that gap at the front starting to come down.
Jamie, the next time Simon asks to go through, tell him no.
Yeah, about 2/10 last time around. This time it'll be a little bit more, I think.
Yeah.
Still about 2/10, which is
Yeah.
not going to be enough with a 3-second gap.
Nope.
Spencer's going to need to find a little bit more if he's going to have something to say
Whoa.
about this win.
Simon is right on the back of.
Yeah, looks like
Taylor
Simon
Lane.
was pushing Taylor around that corner.
It
Yeah.
did look that way. Definitely knows where the front of his car is. I'm telling you, he was close. Oops.
Whoa.
Oh. He did
Close
everything
quarters.
to touch that time.
Yeah, but then it's
Oh,
a left.
somebody's got Taylor's door mirror there,
Yeah.
flopping around. I was so disappointed we didn't get to do the Chicago Street Course in the Wednesday League, because I think you would have seen just the track littered with door mirrors.
Just for jollies yesterday, I took V8 supercar out on there, just trying to figure out where that course went. It's confusing as hell. I'll tell you, it came up and it looked like it goes left and it goes right, and oh my god.
Ooh,
Whoa!
lunge there. Oh, and off of the wall.
No, that's-
And
Yeah.
into Taylor Lane goes Simon Trendle.
I don't think that was very nice.
No, I don't know that move was on for Simon. In fairness, he probably wouldn't have made contact if the wall didn't jut out there, but unfortunately it does.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Taylor had a good run going too.
Yeah, that's a really tough break for Taylor Lane, who had a great race going on up till then.
I think Simon will be disappointed with that.
Oh yeah.
I don't think anyone in our league runs around with the intention of ruining somebody else's race, and I would find it hard to believe if Simon or any of the competitors here were an exception to that.
Okay, so 6 minutes left in race 3.
That gap did come down pretty considerably the last couple of laps. I still don't know that Spencer's pulling enough, but it's down to just a bit over 2 seconds as it stands at the moment.
Well, Dan, you used the whole course that time. Oof, you were right on the edge that time. Thought you were going for a ride. Sorry, I haven't paying any attention. How far is Spencer behind Wobbly?
It's round about exactly 2 seconds, fluctuating to just a little bit over 2 seconds. So he has pulled a little bit more, but with 5 minutes to go, that's going to be a tall order. Especially considering he then has to pass Wobbly, who, in my experience, is not a fan of being passed.
Got a big ass.
It was 4/10 that last time around, close to half a second. At that pace, he'll be right there at the end of this race, but he needs to keep it up. There you can see on the track map the gap. It's next to nothing at this point, considering where it's been all race. Probably close to within towing distance for Spencer as well. There's not much draft effect around this track because you are traction limited in the oval corner, and there's no long straights in the infield section. But I find with these TCR cars, the draft never hurts. So certainly where Spencer wants to be.
Yeah, it's 1.5 seconds at the moment.
And I think the race will probably be 19 laps again, so about 3.5 laps to go. And at the pace he's going, he will definitely be there. But, of course, catching and passing are different things as Gary goes for the move on Jamie Wilson. See if he can get him as they head back onto the oval here. Late on the brakes for Gary. But he sails it wide, and don't think he's going to get enough of a drive off to hang on.
Got the inside. Oh, that was good driving there. Ooh, little rub.
What, good driving from Jamie Wilson and Gary Craig? Who would have expected it? I don't think you would find two more hard but fair racers in our leagues than these two right here.
Gap at the front is just over 1 second.
This time Gary's got the inside line and he's got the drive off. Jamie tries to get the inside line as they head into oval turns 3 and 4, but can't make it stick there. I think Gary might have this because he's been just a little bit quicker than Jamie. Ooh, just a little kiss to the wall there for the Team Chimera car. Ooh, Gary went a little wide though. Jamie will have a look up the inside. It puts him on the wrong spot for the next sequence of corners though. But he's looking like he might be able to hold it. That's some impressive driving. Gary goes way wide there. I don't think there's a slowdown out there. I think it's just a 1X, but certainly for Gary's sake, he'll be hoping not.
great respect for those two guys. That was really good to see.
Absolutely, and it's not over yet.
Nope. Uh-oh.
Oh, I think Gary does have a slowdown potentially. Well, he's got going.
I thought it was Jamie, but I guess he's all right.
Now up front, they've just got the white flag, and they're on the same piece of track, but turn one, really the best passing opportunity. It's going to be tough for Spencer to find a way around Wobbly, even though he has been considerably quicker the last few laps. He'll want to get as good a run as possible out of this corner right here if he's going to have any chance. And I'm not sure he's close enough here.
Coming off the hairpin's really critical too right here.
Yeah, just
Well done. Look good.
not quite there. We've seen people get good runs on the high side here, but I don't think Spencer is close enough to make that momentum work here. No, Wobbly's got a good drive off, and he's going to secure this one.
Well done, Wobbly. Good job. Well, Chris Shaw got a podium. That's nice.
Yeah, Chris really wasn't able to keep up with Spencer as he charged forward. Seemed like he just didn't quite have the pace in race number 3 that Spencer did.
I don't think Pete will want to see Phoenix again very soon.
And in the end, it was Jamie Wilson over Gary Craig for 5th. That battle went right down to the wire.
Wow.
All right, let me get things set up. I'll let you guys go through the grid when it comes up.
Do we have another race then? Because I'm
at
not
the
sure we have another grid
Finishing
to
grid.
All right. The results for race 3 are Wobbly Kneecap in first place for BSTV Esports Pink. Spencer McCarthy second for the Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing in a nice close battle there. Third was Chris Shaw, BSTV Esports Pink. Fourth, Simon Trendle, Team Chimera. Fifth, Jamie Wilson, Team Chimera, the two guys right together for that team. Sixth was Gary Craig, BSTV Esports Green. Seventh, Carl Hardy, Safeguard by Result. Eighth, Sam Blees, Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing. Ninth, Daniel Guidici, BSTV Esports Yellow. 10th, Taylor Lane, Fiercely Forward, who had a tough break toward the end there. Felt sorry for him on that one. 11th was David Ayers, Result Clothing iRacing Team. 12th, Scott Malcolm, Work Guard by Result. 18th, Duncan Cope, he's a privateer, sorry. Pete Bingham comes home 14th in the BSTV Esports Green. 15th, Stefan Goebel for VTS Esports. 16th, Ben Cullen, BSTV Esports Pink. 17th, Martin Brennan, Safeguard by Result. And Sir Alan Toon in 18th, Result Clothing. 19th, Adam Wright, BSTV Esports Green. And from Pete Bingham on down, there were several laps down. So that's the
Okay,
result.
let's get these interviews underway then. And we haven't got our race 1 winner, so let's bring in our race 2 winner, Sam Blees. Welcome to the booth. Hello. second in race 1, a win in race 2. What happened in race 3?
Got a little bit of damage in race 3, so I wasn't even using 6th gear, and I was down on straight line speed, so I was just sort of trying to hold on, fight for every position a little bit, and when everyone else's tyres went off, I was able to bring it back in 8th.
So, we say this every time we race, but we see you in some really good battles. Yourself, Spencer, and Simon Trendle just seem to be always on the same part of the track.
Yeah, race 1 and 2 was crazy. Sort of race 1, me and Spencer fighting for a while, and then he made a little mistake, so I managed to get past him, and I just couldn't do anything about Simon. I felt a little bit quicker for probably the middle half of the race, but I just couldn't. It's really, really difficult to put a pass together around here. So we knew in race 2 we were going to have to get it done early and get it done, be a bit more aggressive at the start. And yeah, it worked out for both of us. Actually, it was a full sort of respect and thanks to Simon for giving us fair room, but we were both able to force some nice passes. It was really good fun racing.
Yeah, and a decent haul of points for you in the championship tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, obviously race 3 could have got a little bit better, and I had a few incidents in race 3 as well. But these things happen. That's sort of what you expect with a reverse grid. But 1 and 2 were about as clean as they could have been. I think I picked up fastest lap as well. So yeah, pretty happy.
Excellent. Well, before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
Just thanks again to Simon and to Spencer for good racing, and to Spencer for sort of the work we did on the setup together. It was good. I think we had a good set today, and yeah, it was good fun. Thanks everybody.
Excellent. Well, we'll catch you next time out at Snetterton.
Lovely. Cheers.
Catch you later. Okay, now let's bring in our race 3 winner, Wobbly Kneecaps. Welcome to the booth.
All right, what's up?
So, how much did you pay Spencer to make that look like an impressive drive from you?
Well, yeah, I can't say that in public because then his wife would probably, or girlfriend would probably be mad. Let's keep it up.
So, mixed results for you tonight. So, you had some speed in race 1 with a 4th place. A few slowdowns in race 2 brought you back to 10th. And then a win in race 3. So, my question is, when are you going to have a consistent meeting and grab yourself 3 top 5s?
Well, okay. The first race, I mean, Spencer, Simon, and what's the other guy's name? God, Sam. Jesus, are so fast I barely can keep up with them. And in race 2, I basically got the slowdown, and I already set me in front of the race. I'm 1 P10, so I can run away on the 3rd race. So basically, the 9th place and the 8th place I gave one to Danny, and I slowed down a bit, and somehow I managed to end up P10. Ooh, so accidental. So basically, well, I think if I would have driven a normal race on race 2, then it would probably be like P6 or 7th.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like I say, you've bagged yourself a win. Is there anything you can do? I don't know, practice-wise, setup-wise, to get up there with Spencer and Sam and Simon? Because you seem on a fairly even pace with Chris Shaw now.
Yeah. Well, I only drive the TCR on the Sunday, and if I want to get faster, and I should just race it more. But it's so different from other cars, and it's kind of hard to master and get the most out of it. So if I want to do that, then I need to be able to put more time in it. And basically, well, the league is good for that, right? I mean, yeah, if I just finish the season, I hope to be on pace at the last couple of races with them, and it should be good fun.
Okay, so before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
I want to shout out to Ben because he tried to kill me in race 2. And
Ben
of
tries
course,
to
you
kill
guys.
everybody.
And of course, you guys are putting on the broadcast again. It's just an amazing bunch of guys. Bill, I'm really happy to see you back in the booth. So
Thanks,
I hope
Wobbly.
you're doing well.
Appreciate it. Nice to be here.
and anything else? Well, Sam for the camera work and Clyde for
by the
butchering
way-
my name.
By the way, Wobbly, I wanted to mention that all the guys except for me were accusing you of coming in 10th place so you get the pole for the third race. I just want you to know that it wasn't me.
Oh well, I mean, it is the truth, I guess. So.
Well, hey, you got to do what you got to do, right?
I needed to win, man.
Hey, I feel you. I hear you.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, Wobbly, and congratulations on your win. And we'll see you next time out.
See you next time.
Okay, so next up, let's bring in tonight's, I'm going to call him the nearly man, Spencer McCarthy. Welcome to the booth.
It's the podium. Here I am.
Yeah, well, exactly. Nearly a win in race 1, nearly a win in race 2, and nearly a win in race 3.
Indeed. There was I didn't not for want of trying. I mean, yeah, I was putting it everywhere I needed to put it, but unfortunately, yeah, I got to slow down in race 1, and I overdid it into turn 1 in race 1 as well, and that sort of let Sam through. And then really it was a case of, Sam's doing a bit better than me in the championship, so for race 2 it was a case of just defend him for a little bit, and I got past Simon. I think that was a pretty good overtake. I must admit, going into the right hander, I don't even know what turn that is. I get lost around here. But yeah, no, it was
go in for anybody getting past Simon.
It was a good brace of races. Good points haul for the team. So yeah, it was good.
And that third race, if you'd have got past Chris Shaw a lap earlier, do you think you may have got Wobbly?
It's a tricky one. I think I had an opportunity to get past Chris on the first lap. I think going up to the hairpin just before you come into the banking, and I could have just sort of sent it in a way. Been a bit more aggressive there, but I just kind of thought better of it. I had Simon kind of all over me at the time after the start, and I think he got around the outside that particular time because I almost backed out of it. And maybe that would have given me a bit more, but then you don't know. I could have then ran into someone else. That third race is just that lottery, isn't it? I did.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. So as you said, 3 podiums. So great haul of points for yourself tonight. That should bring you back into the championship battle.
I don't know if I'm going to get back in there. I think there's a lot of good guys that are being consistent. So, and obviously Sam, my teammate's one of them. So if anything, if I can try and help him get back up there again, yeah, I'll reassess. But there's quite a few races left in the season. So we'll see how we get on. See if we can have a few more like this.
Yeah, Snetterton 200 next time out. You had any experience around there?
I have, yes. I've raced it in real life many a time, to be honest.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's quite the second corner's a bit Mickey Mouse. In these, it'll be probably getting the line around that hairpin right to get the power on the back straight, and it's all about then getting the braking correct for the S's as you come out of the bridge. That's going to be the big time gains through there. So yeah, it's tricky circuit, a bit technical. I like the full circuit 300 is good, but the 200 is also quite good.
Yeah, I think the 200 is it's going to be fantastic for this sort of racing. So I'm really looking forward to that, and it being my local track as well.
Nice.
So that should be good. So before we let you go, mate, any shout outs you want to give?
Not really. I think I've done it all I've been in the interview booth a few times. Thanks very much. But yeah, obviously for you guys putting on the broadcast, awesome. And hopefully we can get the team going a bit better over the rest of the season and get some more points.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your 3 podium finishes tonight, and we'll see you next time out.
Cheers, mate. Take it easy, guys.
Okay, last but not least, it's Mr. Jamie Wilson. Let me just have a look at Jamie's results. Welcome to the booth, Jamie.
Hello.
So, 5th in race 1, 6th in race 2 and 5th in race 3. Not a bad night's work.
Yeah, pretty consistent throughout, I suppose. Hard work, that's for sure. Very sweaty after that one, I tell you. Even notwithstanding the weather.
It's been many moons since I've raced at that track, but it certainly doesn't give you any rest, does it?
No, that's the great thing about it. I don't know how much of a success it was in the overall scheme of things, but part of the objective is to use slightly weird tracks that are pretty short and full on, and this certainly ticks that box because it's so technical that you only have to make a tiny little mistake and it costs you a huge amount. So, even when we're line astern and nothing really is going on that's that exciting, each and every one of those drivers is absolutely on the edge just to maintain that pace. So that's quite interesting from that sense.
Yeah, and I personally, I think it was a success based on the fact that we didn't have any major pile-ups and we had 3 different race winners, including your teammate, who never seems to want to come in the interview booth. So, do you want to tell us all about his win?
Well, he does have a reasonable excuse for the on Wednesday because your broadcast stopped before he could.
Yes, no, that was an act of God.
Well, not quite, because at the exact same time as it transpired, I had said to him, "You do realise this means you have to do an interview," and then that is timed about the same time as that lightning strike. So yeah. I'm Zeus apparently, and this time he was just like, "Right, I'm going for a shower. Back in a bit." It's like immediately after the race. So you pretty much alt F4'd and turned the cold water on.
Yeah, well, that's not too bad then. But not only individually good haul of points, but a good haul of points for the team.
Yeah, definitely. Shane Ben was busy at some event going on at Silverstone today. I don't know what that's all about. So he wasn't around. Idea. But yeah, no, great in the points. Be interested to see how that pans out. I imagine us and Geodesic probably aren't a million miles apart, so I'm probably lacking a bit of ultimate pace to try and really mix it in amongst them. But yeah, I mean it's really good fun battling people like Gary and Chris and a few others. Fantastic stuff. Really hard racing, and especially that's the great thing about it. We're on a weird track that's very rarely used, but yet. People have done practice. People know how to drive around the place at 100%. So, it's an unusual situation to be in. Really enjoyable.
Yeah, we obviously we enjoyed the battles that you had with Gary Craig tonight, and Snetterton 200 next time up. What are your thoughts for that place?
Yep, really good track for these cars. Again, it's not quite as full on around the entirety of the lap as it is around here, but. Brundle and Nelson particularly is a very difficult combination of corners in these cars. Being front-wheel drive, the rear's not quite planted, massive curbs. The bomb hole is one of those. Is it flat or isn't it? Not sure. Little confidence lift in the middle sort of corners. Coram will kill the left front. There's loads of stuff there that makes that a really fun touring car track. I have done it in these cars as part of another league's media day, so it wasn't really competitive. But yeah, it was a great success at that time, so it should be again this time. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I expect the front lefts to be mush by the end of each race.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm also going to go to the bookies and put 50 quid on Pete Bingham disappearing off the edge of the track round Coram and into a field somewhere. That's most certainly going to happen. So, Jamie, any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Just to you guys as usual for everything that you do. To Simon for being just a really good teammate to have in this. Ben for not being here, so he's not a very good teammate, so sod him. And And yeah, as always, the rest of the field, as in all of the BSTV leagues, there's a great bunch of guys in here, and it's a really, really good use of a hot Sunday evening to be doing this.
Jamie, I have
Most
one thing.
certainly is.
Jamie, I have one thing I want to mention to you. The next time Simon asks you to let him buy, tell him no. All right?
That doesn't quite work like that.
I know. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, in all seriousness, there is some championship considerations in that.
Of course,
and while
I
I'm not necessarily gonna fight him as hard as I perhaps would others, and I had made a mistake, so it made no sense. I just gave him a go at the other car. So
I'm just joshing you because when I saw him come up alongside you, I said, "Jamie, tell him no, damn it." But, oh well. Anyway,
we've got a long and proud history of crashing into each other in situations like that. So he's been my teammate for like, God Christ, 15 years. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's different. All right. I take it back.
Hey.
Sorry.
So, thanks for joining us in the booth, Jamie. Congratulations on your haul of points tonight, and we'll catch you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, guys. So that is the interviews over. It's that time of the night when I put you on the spot. Just to take a little bit of pressure off you, Tyler has already sent his driver of the day vote in, and his has gone to the man we was just speaking to, Mr. Jamie Wilson. So there's a vote in the book for Jamie. Sam, let's go to you. Who is your driver of the evening?
Mine will be Spencer McCarthy for, I think, the best overall finish on all 3 races.
Yeah, can't disagree with that, mate. And Bill, from you?
Chris Shaw.
Chris Shaw from Bill. Okay. Let me just type away and get that in. And something is about to happen that never usually happens. But I'm going to have to agree with Sam. I don't like picking the winners.
He said it. That's recorded.
And 3 podiums, I think, in this class of field with this class of racing, including a reverse grid race 3, is something to be marvelled at. The only time I'm going to give it to a winner is if somebody wins all 3 races. So, yes, that was absolutely fantastic tonight. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Coming up in the very near future. So on Wednesday, we are at Mosport for the GT4 TCR Challenge. And then on Sunday, we're back in GTCC action from Le Mans. So a couple of really, really good races coming up. I'd like to thank Sam, Bill, and Tyler, who had to depart for another engagement. I think he had to sort out his travel arrangements for the sex cult.
I knew that was coming.
For joining me in the booth. Thanks to all the drivers for putting on another fantastic show. Thanks to everybody that joined in the chat. Thanks to Chris Shaw Designs, Team Chimera, Hexil, and Result Clothing for sponsoring this series. Make sure you drop this video a like. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook. Make sure that you subscribe to us on YouTube, and that way you will never miss the action again. So it's time for us to close the broadcast, mainly because everybody's hot and sweaty. I shall say good night, let the guys say good night, and then we shall disappear. So good night, everybody, and especially to everybody in the UK. It's Freedom Day tomorrow, so please be sensible and stay safe. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. And I'll tell you, there's no better league right now than this one. This is absolutely an exciting batch, that goes on here, and it's just wonderful. I tell you, Look forward to the next one, and going to watch on Wednesday as well. So have a good evening, everybody, and I hope it gets a little cooler for you guys over in Europe.
And good evening, everybody. See you on Wednesday.